This is John for the Patch. I'm here on the beat. I've got two up and coming actors. I've got Scott and Elizabeth. We're going to tell us all about your next project. How are you guys?
Doing good, Johngy. Always a pleasure to speak with you. Well, our next show that we're doing is William Shakespeare's The Tempest for one of the greatest suburban theaters, GreenMan Theatre. We're based out of Elmhurst, Illinois. GreenMan's been around for, darn near 20 years and everything like that. And they do all different kinds of plays. They do murder mysteries. They do Shakespeare shows. They just did Glenn Ross a couple of years ago before the pandemic and all that stuff. They do a lot of Ken Ludwig, a lot of
spooky stories, grave site, Halloween stories, you name it, they do it.
Jane Austen shows, a lot of Shakespeare shows, ones that can't say the word Macbeth, but I'll say the word Macbeth. Can't say that. It's some kind of superstition that you can't say that word or else bad luck will happen. So, but no, it's a great show. Our good friend David Soria is directing it, and we had auditions about a month or so ago, and I play Stefano. I play the king's drunk butler who has a bit of a narcissistic problem and wants to kill everybody and stay drunk. So pretty much not that much of a stretch for who I really am.
Yeah.
And I'm a newcomer to the production. I did not actually audition for it, but I play Trinculo, the drunk court jester.
My sidekick.
Stefano picks on a lot.
So what made you guys want to do The Tempest?
Well, we've been acting for a while now. I mean, that's the first thing I ever really did is I back in the early 2000s, I went through Second City, and I've done probably at this point in my life 60 different plays and everything. It's the first and foremost, my first love is theater and the stage and all that stuff. My friend David sent out the emails. He sent me a personal email. He's like, hey, you are going to audition for the show, aren't you? Which pretty means please audition for the show. Shakespeare's difficult. It's, you do the different kind of Shakespeare speak and the way they talk is a lot different than what most plays are. I like it for the fact that it's a nice challenge to be able, you have to be word perfect when it comes to Shakespeare. You can't improv stuff like this because one simple mistake of the word could turn it into an action to a situation and everything like that. So I like doing Shakespeare plays just for the pure challenge of it. And also when you get to have a lot of fun dressing up in period costumes and whatnot.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying exactly. I unfortunately missed the initial auditions for this show, but when Scott Joey got cast, the director sent out an email saying that they were severely lacking in actors and they had a few roles to fill. So I immediately stepped in. I said, hey, how can I audition for you? How can I help you out? And so they cast me in actually a different part initially. I initially played Iris, the rainbow goddess that was in one scene of the show. Unfortunately, one of our wonderful actresses ended up in the hospital.
Oh.
Her condition is unknown, but she's gone back a few times and they asked me to step in, which of course I did. And I've embraced ever since.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun show. It's a lot of comedy. It's a comedic love story about a shipwrecked bunch of people.
Involving a lot of magic.
That's
the fun of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of magic, and the costumes are really great, and there's gonna be a lot of nice surprises throughout this whole entire thing.
And it's the perfect time for it too, heading into the fall season, the Halloween season, lots of costumes.
Oh, exactly.
Now you guys, how is it for you guys to act together?
It's funny that you mentioned that. People automatically assume because you're a couple, any couple can act together on stage and have good chemistry. That's not the case. It's easier to interact in real life than it is to play different characters and act off each other. We've never had that problem.
And with that being said, when you see us on stage, it's exactly that. It's we are perfect on stage with each other. A lot of other couples don't have that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of other couples who have acted across from each other, and it doesn't translate very well because you can just kind of tell that, they have some kind of a connection. During our stuff, I think we play off each other quite well. It's easy to get mad at each other. So when I get mad at her at the play, I could just kind of like remember some things that, she said I did a long time ago, and use that to my advantage when I have to yell and scream.
But it's also good to understand how to give and take in a scene.
Right.
We both are used to being stars all by ourselves, but you have to also generously open it up for, say, Scott to have a star moment, for me to have a star moment.
Right.
It's a lot more than having a love connection in real life.
And for those that don't know, the two of you are involved in wrestling. So does
we do a little bit of that? We do a little bit of that here and there.
Yeah. Does your work there? Does your work there translate into the stage?
Oh, for sure. Because the reason I do wrestling so much is I compare that to theater. Because what is the purest form of theater is professional wrestling. And acting, more times than not, you have a good guy, you have a bad guy, you have a conflict, you have a resolve in front of people. It's the exact same thing in pro wrestling. You sit there on the microphone, you're doing your part as your character, sitting there like ripping on the audience or ripping against your opponent. And when you're in the ring, you're getting beat down. So you're that good guy who's getting beat down by the villain in the play, and the villain in the play is getting over on you. Then it just translates the same entire thing. The good guy's eventually going to win in the end. And all that. So acting and wrestling are right here, neck and neck. And a lot of people don't seem to really understand that. I'd rather watch a Fast and Furious movie, or I'd rather watch, such and such on TV. How can you watch that wrestling garbage?
It's fake.
Yeah, exactly. The Fast and Furious, I mean, they went to space in this last movie or something like that. You could suspend your belief for that, but you can't suspend your belief for this.
That movie acting is so different anyway, because you have as many takes as you want, a million splices. You don't have to memorize as much. You don't have to convince a live audience at the time that this is who you are verbally and non-verbally. So being newer to wrestling than Scott Joey, I had to learn all of that. I had to learn to create my character, to convince people, not only in the ring and ringside, but in promos as well. So it all combines beautifully.
And they both, it plays theater and wrestling. You have your live audience. And if you mess up in the ring, the people are going to know it. And on stage, if you mess up, there's a way you can pretty much act like you didn't mess up. If they don't know you dropped the line or anything like that, you can recover for something like that. But you're put on the spot as well. You have 500 people in the audience watching you do Shakespeare, or if you have 500 people in the audience watching you do a spear, it kind of translates the same thing. You're out there without a net, but you use the people. Plays, obviously, they're not yelling and telling you about how horrible you are and how much they want to beat you up like they do to Joey Roth and Roxy Hart. But at a play, it's, you get the gratification at the end when they give you that ovation. So that's the only different thing in wrestling, is you don't know how well you're doing in a play until the end, basically. But in wrestling, you get that instant gratification with the crowd and audience out there. But they mirror each other so well.
And when does it start?
It starts, I got my little cheat sheet here. It starts September 16th, this Friday, and we run through October 2nd. So we're doing every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for 3 weekends. Friday and Saturdays, the show starts at 7:30. Sundays, the show starts at 2. Admission is $20. Seniors and students are $15. And the performances are at the First United Methodist Church in the basement at 232 South York Road in Elmhurst. Again, it's GreenMan Theatre, and it's theater spelled THEATRE instead of ER. So go to greenmantheater.org and you can get your tickets there, or you can go on their Facebook page, their Instagram page. They still even have a blog spot.
Yes.
They have all that. So yeah, or you can call 630-464-2646. Get your tickets there.
Just a few blocks away from Elmhurst University, and you should support this theater anyway, because without them, we wouldn't be a couple.
That's where we met 10 years ago. We met.
So there's some history.
Yeah. We were doing Pride and Prejudice. I was Mr. Darcy.
And I was Miss Eliza Bingley, the woman he didn't choose.
Okay, so that was around this time, over 10 years ago.
Same director, David Soria.
Same director, the only director I will drop everything and do things for. And this play is kind of done in the same time era as that is. We were both dating other people. I was living in the city. She was going to school.
At Elmhurst, Blue Jays.
A few years later, we met at another audition at the same theater. I still had her email after she walked out of the room because it made hey look as a hot blonde, and rock on from there.
Well, it's even more reason to go to see you guys. Now it's like it's like chemistry, kismet.
Exactly.
And if that wasn't all, we were in one other play with David, another Shakespeare production, A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah, we did Midsummer Night's Dream a few years ago, which was real. That was King Oberon. She was one of the fairies and everything.
Titania's head fairy. Their only outdoor production to this day.
It was an outdoor production, which was challenging. Again, you're sitting there trying to remember all this Shakespeare talk, and it gives you such a migraine at the end of the day trying to remember all this stuff. So yeah, but we open this Friday. Open on the 16th. Can't wait. I hope we see a lot of people there. I know I'm going to see you there.
I will not be there on the 16th, but
one of the days.
I definitely will be there on the show. I'm talking to our good friend PL Myers, trying to coordinate a date when we can get together. But with or without PL, I'm definitely going to be at the show. I've been looking forward to this. I've seen both of you perform on the other wrestling stage. Now I want to see you perform on this stage, and I can't wait. I encourage everyone to check it out.
It's definitely going to be fun. People are going to have a really good time for this play. I mean, for $20, you go see a movie, buy popcorn, you buy whatever, you're looking at what? So much money right there. This is live theater in front of you. And there can be refreshments. They're going to have pop, water, chips, dip, chains, whips, and all that other good stuff. And
support live theater again.
Support live theater.
It's hard enough for these groups now to get back on their feet.
After the pandemic and everything like that, it's just, a lot of theaters didn't make it. So for GreenMan to still keep plugging along with a lot of other theaters in this area, live theater is where it's at because it's just that much fun because it's right there in your face, just like the wrestling is.
Well, I encourage everyone to check out Scott and Elizabeth in the Tempest at the GreenMan Theatre in Elmhurst. Yes, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the next few weeks. I'll be there one of the nights. Be cheering you guys on and can't wait to see it. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Johngy. Appreciate it, bud.